I'm building my dream outdoor kitchen at my off-grid property in France. I started the build 2 years ago. This simple structure has 9 posts, some cross beams, and a transparent roof. I've used it to store building materials, which now have their own wood store. I'm going to dismantle the temporary kitchen and build a new kitchen using vintage furniture, tiles and custom oak worktops. Summer evenings here are cool, so I'll add a log burner and evolve the structure to be able to heat the space at night while preserving the views and connection to nature in the daytime. Let's start with the floor. After polishing, I cleaned and sealed it to protect it from stains. I'm building some more walls and adding 2 doors. Let's start on the kitchen build. Hooray! After adding these lights, I decided they were ugly, so I later changed them to match with the others that I had previously.
It's really sticky.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. It will hold.
sense of things is the power of now. Then you're aware of yourself as that. The front is never met. It is plenitude itself. Exactly. And it's interesting because I came across it was that text that put me on collapsing stance, a moment of self-transcendence. Yes.
With the rest.
Everything under one roof.
Everything under.
définitive. Enfin, deuxième enjeu, le rapport pour le Premier ministre et ainsi bloquer la route de Jean-Luc Mélenchon à Matignon.
31 minutes sur CNews Europe 1. On va nous dire peut-être une centaine de...
It's finished. Just thought I'd share a few essential things that I found along the way. I'm really pleased I put all of the units on rollers. It just means I can pull all of this out and clean underneath a couple of times a year. When you're in an outside space, there's dust and debris falling all the time, leaves and all sorts blowing in, so really think about that if you're doing an outside kitchen. The other thing is I like open shelves, but honestly last year everything that was on an open shelf just got covered with dust. And you never know whether a mouse or something's been walking on your plates. So I do recommend having closed cupboards in an outside kitchen. Underneath here I have got a recycling bin and a bin with a lock. That's another problem in outside kitchens. If you're in a wild area like here, chances are you're going to have a fox or some other creature come and empty your bin if you're not really careful. About the water, I've got a cold water supply coming. I'm on the grid for water at the moment. You could easily add a water collection system to this roof structure and have an off-grid water solution. But right now I'm using my on-grid water supply, which runs cold water into this, and when I run the tap it fires up with gas and produces on-demand hot water. So the gas is underneath. I have multiple water supplies, so I've got it splits and comes into cold, and then a supply for the hot as well. And then this is the drain that's going out. Last year I didn't have any sort of drainage system for my sink. It just ran off the edge of the concrete slab, and I actually didn't have any problems at all. I only used biodegradable soap, and I was even able to grow a tomato plant in the water that came out of the sink. I've changed the position of the sink, so I had to dig a hole, and I thought I was going to line the hole with a plastic bucket, but in the end the water just drained much better when it was a simple cloth liner and some rocks in. So I might have to upgrade that at some point in the future to something a bit bigger, but I'm planning on doing some major landscaping work to dig in my water pipes and my electricity supply to this part of the site. So I'll probably try and make a much bigger soakaway during those works. It works perfectly fine right now. You may have felt like this is a really small fridge, and it's true, it is a small fridge, but I'm running something that's compatible with my solar and battery system. You could go for a bigger fridge, but you might also then need to upgrade your solar system. And actually the supermarket here is not very far away, and typically in French lifestyle we go to the boulangerie every day to buy fresh bread. So it's enough just to cool a few beers and keep essential items cool. There's plenty for what I need. In terms of cooking, so this is a gas oven. The oven runs on gas and the top runs on gas. And the gas bottle is just next to me here. This is a go-down log burner. It's a very traditional, classic French log burner. So you put your logs in through the top and you have a cooking plate here. And then you empty the ash out of the bottom here. And it's a gorgeous decorative item. I just felt it went really, really well with the feel of the summer kitchen. I still need to add the chimney system to go with this, so I'm going to run a pipe up the back and through the wall at the back here. But that's a job for next week. So in case you're wondering where's the barbecue, I prefer cooking with a gas plancher. I find that even with this, there's a ton of grease and fat and smoke that comes off a barbecue. I'm just not a fan. So I've chosen to keep this outside of the summer kitchen, and all of this can be stored away inside this little unit and packed away for the winter when I'm not using it. For my electrical setup, I've kept it really simple. I've got an extension cable running from the cabin where I've got my battery set up, and then I've got a multi-plug which is just enough to plug in the fridge, coffee machine and charge your phone or run a laptop. Maybe you're thinking about doing this sort of project and you're wondering how much it all cost. Break it down. The wooden structure, including the roof and all of the wood, was by far the most expensive part. I would say all in all, with all the screws, blinds, roof, etc., I spent about €1,000, which is about $1,000 roughly. The rest of it's actually been pretty affordable. The fridge I bought second hand, it was €25. The wood for building the kitchen, I would say around another €100. The cupboards on the wall were €100. This was €20. The log burner, €150. The table, I think 25 or 30 euros for each table, and chairs, I got it all in a second-hand store. Ultimately, you could probably spend 10, 15, 20,000 euros doing the same thing, having a more elaborate structure, something more grandiose. But if you haven't got the budget, then I really do recommend just start with what you've got. Try and integrate things you already own and look out for things bit by bit. Building this summer kitchen has happened over a period of about 2 years, gradually buying things when I saw things that would work and gradually developing in my own mind how it was going to be laid out and what I wanted in here. So I hope this shows you that even with a really modest budget, do as much as you can yourself and you can still end up with a hugely valuable place to come and be outside, to have a place that you get good quality daylight, the sounds of nature, and that you just really want to come and be here. I've had such fun doing this project. I have enjoyed this build far more than the cabin build. I know that sounds crazy because the cabin is so cute, but it was a massive mental and physical challenge. This build has been so enjoyable just to take the time, pace myself, and do step by step all of these little mini projects in order to create the whole look. It's also been really nice to have some fluidity in it and not to have to work to a plan, just to let things evolve naturally over a period of time. So if you're not good with using professional software to design buildings, just get some bits of wood, start screwing them together and see where you end up, because it's a thoroughly satisfying and enjoyable process. Please let me know what you think in the comments. This is my 38th video. I've been trying to grow my YouTube channel. It really hasn't been an easy process. If you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing. Hit the bell, you'll get my next video coming up, which is going to probably be on the cabin bathroom. If you haven't seen the cabin build, please check out my last video, number 37, where I finished the interior, so you'll get a bit of an idea of what the inside of the cabin is like. Thank you so much for watching and being here with me through this process, and I hope you have a really great day.